and they made this entire, it had to be at least 5 feet in between them. They actually got up, walked, and sat apart from each other just to say, oh, we have enough room for you now. Hey hot girl, happy holidays. So in today's video, I am going to be talking about some diet culture mishaps, some things that have happened within the MLM community, some things that I want to talk to you guys about because I think it's important to have this very, very critical discussion. I want to dive into how I grew up as a plus size person in this very critical world and why diet culture as a whole is just a complete mess. Hey hot girl, what's up? But before I dive into that, I would love to give a shout out to today's sponsor. Thank you so much, Dossier Fragrances, for sponsoring this portion of the video. You guys, the funny thing is, real talk, I've bought their fragrances before. They had something inspired by a YSL Mont Paris that was absolutely incredible. And I bought a fragrance that was reminiscent of Creed Aventus for my husband. So when they reached out to me, I was like, girl, I've used you before. I love you dearly. Thank you so much for the sponsorship. So yes, if you're unfamiliar with Dossier Fragrances, they are amazing, high quality fragrances at a fraction of the name brand prices, but inspired by the name brands. It's a win-win. So if you've ever been in the store and you, let's say Sephora, and you've tried a high-end fragrance, but you looked at that price tag and you were like, you don't have to worry about that with Dossier. And what's also really cool is that, let's say you get the fragrance and you don't really like it. Well, along with the fragrance itself, you also get a little vial. So what you do is, before you even touch this, use the vial, spritz it on, rub it in. Oh my God, it's so good. Either you love it or you don't, and let's say that you don't. Free returns, risk-free. In addition to all of that, Dossier is always cultivating new fragrances for their audience. So if there's ever a recommendation that you have, like, oh, I tried this in the store, why don't you guys think about mimicking these notes? Be sure to let them know. They love to cultivate for their customers. All fragrances start at $29 and they're a bulk deal. So the more fragrances you get, the more of a discount you gain, which is just so incredible, especially during this time where we all need a good discount. Dossier sent me their Oriental Cherry, which is inspired by Tom Ford's cherry, and they were also kind enough to send my husband their Spicy Vanilla, which is inspired by Tom Ford's vanilla fragrance. Both scents mesmerizing, absolutely mesmerizing. So I will be sure to leave a discount code up here for you all and in the description down below. And thank you all so much at Dossier for sponsoring this portion of the video. Hey Beach. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this clip. So she is a high-end trainer with Beachbody, I believe, and she is talking about diet culture and how to manage your food during Thanksgiving. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, I need to repeat this a couple times to make sure I saw what I think I've seen. Now, what's interesting about this woman is that I featured her on my channel before because she put out a book that was called something like Lose Weight Like Crazy While You Have a Crazy Life or something like that. And although for me, that title really didn't really upset me, because I understand there has to be some level of shock value with books, because if you just have something that says diet, no one's gonna pick that up, right? You kind of have to do a play on words. But I do understand why people were triggered by that title, and the way that she addressed those people that were triggered by her title was absolutely disgusting. So that's the first time I called her out. But now, girl, just watch. How to survive Thanksgiving. Get your Shakeology, swap a carb for a vegetable. Okay. Portion control your dessert. Look at that little thing. And then these are the comments, guys. Right. So when I saw that, immediately I got upset. I got upset for many reasons. One, okay, you can't really police how people are gonna act during Thanksgiving. You just can't, okay? And then I was going through the comments and I was like, yeah, this isn't going over well with people outside of Beachbody. Like the regular layperson, like nobody was happy about this. Literally, it was just her and her people were the only ones chiming in saying that that video was okay. And then the video following this, which I can't find, but she was basically talking about Thanksgiving leftovers and that you need to toss them and get back to your diet. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, what the hell? Are you for real? Like, do you know how much food you cook, or the average person person. The average person cooks for Thanksgiving. Girl, if you think for a minute I'm gonna throw away my yams, my gumbo, my jambalaya, my turkey, if you think for a minute I'm gonna toss all that, you got me effed up. You have me effed up. It is more than okay to eat Thanksgiving leftovers the day after and the day after that. Now, some people, they extend it, you know, to the next week, which, you know, don't do that. But yeah, you really have people out here that will actually tell you, throw away your leftovers and get back to your diet. Now, here's the thing. This is why this is actually harmful, in my opinion, because let's talk about the term diet. The term diet itself is literally just your dietary intake, what you take in your daily diet. Your diet is literally what you put in your mouth, goes in your stomach through. If it's my fucking husband, your diet literally, you're not born with the manual as to what to eat. Now, there are things that are not, now there are things that are unfavorable to eat in huge amounts. We all know that. Everything is about control, not portion control, control. Now, let me explain what I mean. So, girl, I'm going in today. The reason why portion control is not, in my opinion, a healthy way to teach someone how to eat is because we all have different appetites. So what I would consider is a healthy portion of meat or veggies or grains, Betty Sue, who's 100 pounds lighter than me naturally, she can consume way less. I'm a bigger person. I have a bigger stomach. I need more. So when you give me this diagram that has, oh, you need like, oh, this pea-sized amount, this palm-sized amount for this, that may not be adequate for me, and I may still be hungry after. And hunger is your body's way of telling you that you need to eat, in my opinion. I don't know how anybody else would dispute hunger. That doesn't really make sense to me. So when I see these Beachbody people, especially these lead trainers, always talk about, oh, stick to your diet, do this, do your Shakeology, do this. It's like, okay, first of all, they're always gonna root back to the MLM. We all know this. Okay, that was a weird noise. Somebody trying to break it. The second thing is that everyone does not work the same. Mechanically, we are all different. We are. I mean, all of our bodies work different. I'm gonna kick his butt. Shut up.
Hey girl, I feel like I need to jump in here because it didn't do a good job with explaining what I mean. So I know we all have anatomically the same thing, right? We all have organs, we all have a liver, a heart, kidneys. I do understand that. Don't think I'm messing that up. What I mean is that those organs work differently for everybody in the sense that some people have autoimmune disorders. Some people have, you know, reproductive problems. People have, everybody has something going on with their body. I don't know anyone that's 100% perfect with their body all the time. So even though we all have the same organs, a lot of times they don't work the same as everybody else.
And the cat's now kicking the litter around. So I can understand why when these lead coaches put out these statements to people that are not in Beachbody, because if you're in Beachbody, you're just drinking the Kool-Aid, right? You're gonna think everything that they do is just so amazing and so, oh, I wanna be like you, blah, blah, blah. The same thing I was doing, it works, until I actually took a step back and was like, what is this? I'm gonna tell you a story. For me, I'm one of the biggest people like in my immediate family. But you know, I am the biggest person in my immediate family. So my mother passed away 7.5 years ago, and she was a plus size woman. She was 200, and she was a plus size woman, but she was also 6 feet tall. My dad is 6'2", and he's, I guess you would say, more average sized. And then my brother, who is 6'1", he is way skinnier than me, and he's older than me as well. He's gonna be 33 this year. So in my immediate family, I was the chubby kid next to my mom, but at the same time, my mom was tall, so her weight evenly distributed. And outside of the immediate family, with my cousins, I'm the biggest cousin. Immediate cousin. On my mom's and my dad's side, I am the biggest cousin. And growing up, when I tell you that my family a lot of times extended and sometimes immediate, when I tell you that my weight was a talking point, and that was so incredibly humiliating, it made me think like, oh, well, clearly I'm doing something wrong. Even though I eat better than my brother, even though I'm the most active in this household, even though I literally worked at a gym just to have a gym membership just so I could work out every day. And I did lose weight, but I'm predispositioned to be a thicker person. Now, some people are gonna disagree with that. It's like you literally know you have people that have been chubby since they were like 1 year old. They've just always been bigger. I have to make that clear, because it's like everybody thinks for some reason you're born so skinny and then for whatever reason you chose to be fat. Now, No, I had the same diet as everyone else in school. I was just as active as everybody else in school when I was younger, and I just so happened to be one of the bigger people. I never ran out of breath when I was running. I never had to hold my chest when I was running. I never was coughing up anything because I was just so messed up with my health. I never was going crazy because I was so messed up with my health. No, I had the same amount of stamina, if not more. In fact, I remember one time, I'm going on a tangent, but listen to me. I remember one time I was running during PE. This was 7th grade, and we were doing some little, like a mile or something like that. And I ran this mile. It was me, the lead runner in the class, and then 2 other girls that were the first people to complete this mile. And the coach pulled me aside and was like, how did you achieve that? I ran like everybody else. What do you mean, how did I achieve that? And I'm still a fast runner. At 200 plus pounds, I will outrun the shit out of somebody, okay? So when people talk about weight and you need to diet and you need to do this, no, you need to reevaluate yourself when you're coming for somebody's weight. Because the majority of the time, you're not coming from health. You're coming because you decided to. You're coming because you wanted to say something rude. Very, very often, people don't care about the health part. They just want to make fun of somebody because they're fat. Let's call it what it is. So me growing up, a lot of times I heard those comments from family and from friends. I remember one time I was sitting down, we were outside, it was recess, and it was me and these 2 skinny girls. This is Catholic school now, so you know, that's fun. And I was coming up to sit down with them because, I don't know, that was my friend group for the day. I had different friend groups every day. Girls are disgusting. So they were sitting down, and then when I was walking up, they had the biggest gap in between them. And they're like, oh, we think that's enough room for you. Here's the kicker. I was only like 10 pounds heavier than them at the time. And they made this entire, it had to be at least 5 feet in between them. They actually got up, walked, and sat apart from each other just to say, oh, we have enough room for you now. Okay. Okay. So this is when I realized, you know what? Maybe I need to start going on a diet. At that young, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to start going on it, because if someone's spacing out like that, I clearly must be a wide load truck. I need to go on a diet. So I remember I went home to my mom and I was like, you know what, Mom? I need to start eating better. I need to eat salads more. I'm tired of being fat. I'm tired of being fat. I told her what happened at school that day. She's like, oh, Margaret, don't worry. People are haters. People are disgusting. They don't know you. They don't know how amazing you are. Don't worry about what people have to say. Now, my mom was, as I've told you guys many before, she was a high-ranking government official. It was not easy for her to get her job. She went through a lot of teasing, a lot of scrutiny, a whole lot of mess. So she knew exactly what to say when it came to bullies. The only problem was it didn't resonate with me at the time because I could see in the mirror that I was a bigger person. So the fact that I'm looking at myself and I'm like, you know what? Things need to be changed because people keep treating me like this because I'm a bigger person. So clearly something is wrong. So I start going into fad dieting around 12 years old. So I did, girl, look, I did everything, okay? I would make my mom buy me just salads whenever she would go to fast food. And I remember I would literally just eat it so slowly just to try to make myself feel like I was full quicker. And then I would save the rest of the salad for the school day. If I went to lunch, I would literally have the tiniest bites of meat and I would ask the lunch lady for more vegetables. But here's the thing, the weight didn't fluctuate. I was actually getting bigger because I was eating way less than I was supposed to for my caloric intake, and my body kept my fat in reserves. So like, I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm dieting. I want to make sure that, you know, I'm healthy, I'm getting smaller, and none of that is working. None of that is working. I tried different diets over a span of about 5 years, and I'm like, you know what, forget this. The weight kept going up and down. It was just making me sicker because I was losing weight rapidly and then I was gaining it rapidly. I kept gaining it back and I couldn't get my body to its equilibrium again. So I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Now I'm just going to eat happily. I'm not going to have a relationship with food. I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to have this emotional attachment to something that can't even talk to me, something that's supposed to nourish me, make me happy, and sustain me. Just the purpose of food is to sustain me, make me happy, enjoy it. And yes, comfort food in my mind is something that you need. I completely agree with that. Only for the simple reason because sometimes it's just nice to sit back and have something really enjoyable. I don't believe in cheating with food because food doesn't have a moral construct. It's not your partner, it's food. It is food. And there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I want an extra bite of that cheeseburger. I want an extra piece of cake. I'll just, you know, maybe cut it a little bit smaller this time. I don't have a problem with any of those statements, because at the end of the day, everyone's body is different. So when people get out here and they preach diet culture and they preach, oh, you need to be doing this, watch your portions, watch this, it puts a shame to you, right? Because if you have these portions on your plate and you're still hungry after, you're not going to be happy with yourself, because it's like, wait, I ate my portions. Why don't I feel better? Because that portion wasn't big enough for you. Because you need more. Your body is craving more, and that's okay. When you're craving more, and let's say you've eaten everything off your plate, get more vegetables. Get a little bit more meat. Who cares? Who cares? If you're hungry, eat. I do not understand anybody that thinks that all bodies act alike. That makes no sense to me. That will never make sense to me. I know those feelings where I'm eating and I'm like, okay, I'm done my plate, and then I'm still hungry, and I'm so ashamed with myself that I feel like my body is going to self-purge because I'm just so emotionally distressed because my food intake is not right. It was bad. It was really freaking bad sometimes, and I've had to really take the time now, thank God I'm somewhat smarter, take the time now to really reevaluate my relationship with what goes in my body. And I'm so happy to say that. Am I where I want to be? No. But I'm going to love myself as I get to where I want to be. And I'm going to happily eat to get where I want to be. Like a lot of these diets that people want to try and do, it's so interesting because it's like, because if I'm not mistaken, keto was made for epileptic patients. And that is such a, I don't even know if I'm going to get into that. That one just, I don't know. But you know, it was made for epileptic people, and then next thing you know, people that had diabetes claimed that it was helping with their diabetes. But it's like, think about these things long term. Or another restrictive diet like Whole30. Like there's a reason why everything is on the food pyramid, because you need a balance of everything. You need a balance of everything, and there's no shame in that. If you want something, get it. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept. And the fact that there are MLMs that push this stuff so hard. And it's so interesting because I don't know a single person from Beachbody, this is personally, I don't know a single one of them that's a registered dietitian. I don't know a single one of them that's an actual personal trainer. I don't know a single one of them that has a kinesiology degree. So why are we even listening to people that only know Beachbody? If you mention how many bones are there in the body and they look at you crossways, well, I mean, come on. Like a lot of times these people don't even know basic anatomy, but they're out here telling you what to do with your health. Girl, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me now. Because when I was younger, I was looking into Beachbody. And I will say, I've always said the workouts are incredible. They are. I'm not going to dispute that. But you could find the same equivalent online, if not better. But I will give, you know, credit where credit is due. The workouts are really good. But the whole, but I didn't even know this. So Monica, who's also an anti-MLM creator on the platform, she was telling me that Beachbody has portion trays. I didn't even know that. So it's like they're way more toxic than I thought they were. And the fact that they are so ballsy enough to have portion trays as if to say they have any reason to act like dietitians, to act like they actually know nutrition is beyond me. Now, I'm not saying people haven't lost weight with Beachbody. I know people that personally have, don't get me twisted. But do not act in persona of somebody that's actually gone to school and knows what they're talking about. Do not act in place to think that you have the right to create a nutrition plan for someone when you do not even know basic anatomy. And that is my whole gripe with these MLMs. Majority of the people involved don't even know what they're doing. But let's not get it twisted. Like, I still go through stuff all the time. I have to tell myself every day, you know, stop comparing yourself to people on the internet. Like, you know, you have your own body. It's just not easy though. It isn't easy. One thing that I did do though, that I think is very beneficial, is unfollow fitness gurus on Instagram. If you see somebody with the body type that you know, like I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but there are some body types you're not predispositioned to get. Like, there's no way I'd be 110 pounds. There's no way I'd ever be that skinny. So if you are somebody that does feel down because of Instagram sometimes, and everybody is just so perfect, which literally everyone's using Facetune and filters, no one is perfect whatsoever. If you are that person that gets a little alarmed when you see the perfect bodies and all that kind of stuff, I suggest you unfollow them. Your feed is supposed to make you happy, which I know sounds so weird, but it's absolutely true. Your feed is supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to be things you want to see, want to engage in, you want to like, literally like. You want to talk to those people. You know, you want to follow people that are uplifting and engaging with you. You know, you want to keep following these fitness gurus that are yelling at you and telling you, oh, you need to look like this, or oh, you know, this is your portion for the day, or this is what you need to do here, this is what you need to do here, because everybody is different. Now, if those people motivate you, that's one thing. But if you find yourself continuously getting sad because of how people look and how you wish you look like them, like, I just don't understand people. Like, I really don't. It's okay to block things out on your feed. It's okay to not see what's making you sad, because I've had to do it multiple times, and I'm better for it, honestly. Getting that negative stuff off my feed, getting these perfect people off my feed, I love it, because I get to see real people. I get to see real reactions. I get to see you guys. I get to see people that, you know, follow me and that are thriving and that are doing well and that, you know, don't put up with the diet culture BS. Like, surround yourself with the happiness that you want to see, and you will be so surprised as to how that really benefits your mental health. Like, you really will. But yeah, you guys, I'm gonna put on my lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? No, but for real, if your feed is incumbent of people that do not help you in any way, you just look at them and you're like, oh, I wish I looked like them. If you're going through that, please remove those people from your feed, because that actually is not mentally helpful. Follow people that inspire you. Follow people that make you happy. Follow people that have the same body type as you and they dress for their body type, so that way, at least, even if you want to lose weight, at least you can know how to dress and get inspiration while you lose the weight that you want to lose. Don't look at a certain body type and be like, I want to lose weight and look just like that, because the odds of that happening are very slim, because we're all built differently. One more time. And for the people that actually do take it upon themselves to leave comments on bigger people's posts and talk about, oh my God, you're gonna be dead in a week, blah, 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 nah, nah, nah. Meanwhile, they have all different types of autoimmune disorders they don't even know about, because that's not definitive on weight. You could be skinny and have all those problems as well. If you or somebody that you know, or if you ever see those comments, call it out. Ask them, do you actually lose sleep knowing that there are big people in the world? Like, is this such a hard feat for you to just jump over? Is this an obstacle for you to understand that there are plus size people in the world? Because people will say, oh, well, you're glamorizing obesity. You're glamorizing being plus. No, no, no. Unhealthy is unhealthy, but that's only when the medical work shows that someone is unhealthy. Now, I will say, over a span of time, being a bigger person, yes, you're prone to problems. Of course, every big person knows that. That's in our code of ethics. We understand that being big or being overweight for a long period of time can be detrimental to your health. I'm 100% understanding of that. But that does not mean that you get to play doctor and you get to hurt somebody's feelings just because they're bigger. Because I guarantee your comment is not out of a good place. It isn't. It's amazing how ballsy people have been, especially this year. This year has been the year of exposure, of misinformation, and of selfishness. You guys, is gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so much again to Dossier for sponsoring this video. It was a lot. Thank you for listening to me. I greatly do appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow. Follow me on socials right here. Okay, bye.